want to tell everybody out there thank you. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching. Thank you for leaving comments. Good, bad, ugly, I don't care. I like them. So, everybody out there, have a good day. And let's get ready. Do me a favor. If you're feeling down before you watch this video, call a friend. Watch it together. You guys can sit there and make fun of me and have such a good time and get so many laughs. It's unbelievable what could happen. All right, you guys. You know the routine. You know what to do. Go get your soft drinks. Go get your snacks. Go have a smoke. Whatever it is you got to do. We're fixing to get this party started. All right, you guys, here we go. Ladies and gents, the Goliath Gobbler. The turkey nobody could shoot. Nobody could get him. He was call smart, only strutted in one spot, and was always there before you could get there, and then gone. Alright, so I found out about this place through a friend of mine's parents. His mom's an avid hunter. I mean, she went on hunts all over the United States. And they owned a bull ranch where they raised bucking bulls for rodeos, all sorts of rodeos. Um, well, we was at their house one time, hanging out, looking for arrowheads and looking at the bulls and checking out the ranch, and just hanging out. And we started talking about hunting, and his mom come out there, and we was on the front porch, big old cabin house. It was nice, but she come out on the front porch. What are you guys talking about hunting? Well, spring turkey season was coming, so we was talking about turkey hunting. And she's like, well, I got a turkey out here can't nobody get, you know what I mean? They can't call him in. He's call smart. He won't come into nobody. Won't come to decoys, nothing. I'm like, whatever, I can get him. I guarantee you I can get him. She's like, no way. She said, if you think you can get him, you can hunt him. I said, all right, challenge accepted. So, anyways, we kept talking. She told me some stories about the elk hunt that she just got back from. Well, it was like a few months ago when elk season was open. Because this, like I said, this was probably March, early March into February. Because I went by their house after trapping season to tell them what all I trapped in the creek that's on the property. They got this big creek, Bull Creek, that runs through their property. You got to cross it, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, it's a really good trapping creek. And I told them about the giant beaver I caught and this and that. And anyways, move on here. We get done talking to his mom. We take off. I go home. I start telling my little brother and my buddies about getting permission to hunt on this place and that this is this turkey nobody can kill. She told me that it had been hunted for a few years now, maybe four. Nobody had been able to call it in close enough to get a shot on it. Well, I had just got another Mossberg 835 Ultimag, I showed this one in one of my other videos. This is the National Wild Turkey Federation. I always have to look at it and make sure I say it right. This is my National Wild Turkey Federation special edition Mossberg with a scope turkey gun. Well, and I had told her about this shotgun and told her that, you know, all I got to do is get him within 60 yards and I'm putting the hammer on him. She's like, yeah, whatever. Everybody use Remingtons, right? I mean, where I was at and the people I was around, just about everybody was using a Remington 870 or some sort of Remington. The 870 was the most popular for turkey hunting that I seen. And anyways, I was always bragging on my Mossbergs, man. I Since I found them, I've never went back. I've got 4 of them. Just saying. Anyways, so I was bragging, talking to everybody, telling everybody how it was going to go down, blah, 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 right? First day turkey season rolls around. And now, you guys, I got to tell you, how long ago was this? Gosh dang, it was over 20. Oh, it was over 20 years ago. 18 to 20 years ago, maybe. Yeah. Let me see. I always try to calculate by how old my son was. So I think my son was about, he was probably around maybe 8 or 10 years old. Not that any of this really matters. Anyways, this is like 20 years ago, right? Gosh dang, whatever. Beside the point. It's a long time ago. Well, I've got an Isuzu Trooper. I still have it. Motor's blowed up, but I'm trying to get it rebuilt. Can't get parts. It's a pain, but it's got 368,000 miles on it before it blew up. So we had a lot of fun, me and that old Super Trooper. But anyways, I had this Trooper, and these people live way down a dirt road, naturally, right? Big old cattle ranch. I mean, like legit cattle ranch. Anyways, big private dirt road, miles long. And I had mentioned earlier this creek called Bull Creek. Well, it has a slab going across it most of the time. So after really bad floods and stuff, the slab always would get washed out. Well, from the time that I was out there the first time and the time that I come out again, right, the slab is not there. So I knew the slab wasn't there. Okay, I skipped a part. I had went out a couple weeks before turkey season. I knew the slab was gone in the creek, but the creek wasn't flooded or nothing. It was easy to cross. Put the Trooper in 4-wheel drive, in 4 high even. You know what I mean? I just put it in 4 high, first gear, putted right across. But when you get to the other side, where the slab broke off, the concrete was straight up and down. You know what I mean? It wasn't like jagged and easy to climb over. It was straight up and down. So when you got to that, you had to kind of gas it, but it was washed out, so it was kind of at an end grade like that, and then concrete slab like that, and then whoop, up over the top. Okay, so when I got there, I seen it was you could see the concrete, so I knew what was coming. I went ahead and boom, 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 gassed it up over it, boom, boom, up over it, no biggie. Daytime, everything was cool. It was like 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning. So I mean, crossed it no problem, right? Go out to the field where this turkey goes every year. He's out there every spring, right? Now, it was a little early when I went out there for him to really be gobbling hard, but they should be kind of trying to get together, and Toms and Jakes are kind of grouping up, and all the hens are definitely going to be grouping up. So I was just going to go do some scouting, right? It's always good to scout, get the game plan. So I went out there, and there's like a round bell feeder and then a big old trough for feeding the cattle grain. And so I just kind of snuck across the field down on my hands and knees, no shotgun or nothing. I just had my binoculars and a turkey call. So I slip on over there, get kind of, hidden in amongst all that stuff, try to hide myself. I'm just sitting there watching, and I see hens and turkeys coming to this lone oak tree, great big old oak tree. You guys know how they do it in the fields. They always leave one big old tree somewhere for some reason. But anyways, I know why this tree was here, because there's a real big, not real big, but there's a deep, real deep gully right there, just out of nowhere, right? Like, and that tree was on a little flat spot, almost like right in the middle of it. You know what I mean? And then there's a little patch of woods, like big tree here, off to my right, 40 yards, started the edge of the patch of woods that was only not even like an eighth of an acre, just like 200 feet square patch of woods. And you could tell that it was dipped down, right, by the way the trees were. So I think the big tree was marking, for years, had been marking that bad spot in the field, because the field was pretty much flat other than that one spot. Okay, so I've over explained that. Dang it. All right, so squeaky chair's killing me, man. So I get set up to scout. Sure enough, turkeys show up right under this big oak tree. Where the big oak tree was, the grass was a lot shorter. And so I pretty much knew that that's where the turkeys were all showing up and grazing, because he was knocking that grass down, keeping it shorter. It was just like a little flat knob right there in this field with this big old tree and a little patch of woods. Now, about 150 yards off to my left was the edge of the fence of the field, was the woods. And then straight behind the oak tree, about 50 yards, was a fence and real thick, heavy hard oak woods. So there's turkeys everywhere, man. So I never see this Tom. He never shows up. He's not in, he doesn't strut, no strutting turkeys. I heard gobbling, but no show, right? I got no dance, which was fine because I didn't have any ones on me anyway. Just saying. Could have thrown him a quarter, maybe. So, anyways, I leave. Now I've got a game plan. At least I know where the turkeys are gathering, right, by the oak tree. And I glassed it all and looked, and there was toms out there, young toms, that wasn't strutting, which told me there's a dominant tom somewhere, and they wasn't going to strut around these hens yet, right? So, but it was not a whole lot of them. Just a couple showed up, and there was no show. So I split. Now I got a game plan. I'm coming out opening morning. So I know about the creek. Everything's good. I'm not worried. I was gonna actually put my trooper in 4 low this time, just to make sure I didn't get stuck. You know what I mean? Well, it's like, I don't know, 5:30 ish, five, you know, 5 to 5:30 by the time I get to this creek. So I want to get out there a little bit before daylight, like any daylight, and get set up so I can see what this guy does. You know what I mean? and I'm not really trying to hunt him this morning. I'm not. I'm not wanting to. I'm still trying to find out what I need to do. But season's open, so now I can actually go out there with decoys and do a lot heavier calling and take my shotgun, in case I do call them in. But really, I'm just wanting to set up and see if he shows up first. And then once he shows up, I'm wanting to study him, see what he does. Is he gonna go strut somewhere else? When he gets done strutting right there and breeding them hens, is he done? You know what I mean? Because they all have different habits. You never know. And a lot of times, them dominant toms, they'll have one or two fellas behind them waiting to fill the spot as soon as he kicks the bucket. You know what I'm saying? So usually there's more than one in this type of situation. So I get to the creek. I'm like, all right, no big deal. Reach down, shift into first gear, take off across the creek, start going up that little gravel embankment, which is all underwater now, by the way. It had rained. So the creek is up now. All right. I mean, it was pretty high. Like, I shouldn't have tried to cross it. But I was in the Super Trooper, so I wasn't worried. I figured we'd just, if anything, float on down till I could get traction and I'd get out. I'm not kidding. That's how I was thinking. So I go ahead, I just put on out there, and we're doing good until we start going up that incline. I start going up it a little bit, and I feel it spinning, and I'm like, "What the?" So I push in the clutch. I stop, get it neutral, and I look down. I forgot to put it in 4-wheel drive. So now I'm in a predicament. Now I have definitely put myself in a situation, and it is not a good one. So, oh goodness. So I think, I don't panic because I've been in some sketchy situations before like this. So I thought, all right, so I'll go ahead and put it in 4 low and then back up a little bit, kind of back off at an angle. So when I pull forward, I'm not in the same ruts, just over a little bit. But I'm in 4-wheel drive and I should be able to just climb right on out, right? No biggie. Well, that's not how it worked. That did not work. Now I got up all the way to that concrete. I hit my front tires hit that slab, and as soon as they hit that slab, El Trooper said, "Brr," just started digging in. Now see, like I said, the water was up. I mean, the creek was flooded, and the gravel I'd say was piled up and pretty loose, and I did not consider the gravel being really loose. From being pushed down from the flood and all that. I did not. I was not thinking about that. I was thinking turkey hunting. So I get stuck and it's flooded. Water's coming in through my back doors. There's enough water hitting my front door. I can't open it. So I have to roll down my window, jump into the creek. Oh, get up on the dirt road. Okay, so I jump out, use my trooper to get over to the bank because it's right at the concrete slab, about not this close, but like 3 foot from the slab. Because I tried backing up a little bit, to pull forward just a little bit and ended up getting stuck a little bit back from the slab. Okay, so anyways, I got to the slab, climbed up out of the creek. I'm soaking wet. It's 5:30 in the morning, colder than crap. So The ranch house is just like, oh, man, you know, quarter mile maybe at the most from where I'm at. So I just take off walking, got my shotgun. Walk on up there. Luckily, my buddy's dad was in the barn warming up his tractor. Start working. So he seen I was soaking wet and he's no dummy. So he knew I was stuck in the creek. I'm sure it happened a lot. Other people crossing that creek, same situation. He told me it happened a lot. So I know, okay. So, anyways, but he agreed to pull me out and told me that if his tractor spins one tire, we're unhooking that chain, and I'm gonna have to call a tow truck or get somebody out there to help me get it out. He ain't gonna do it. And I don't blame him, okay, because this tractor and all of his tractors were, I mean, they were like brand new. They weren't new tractors, but they looked brand new. You understand what I'm saying? This guy was OCD about his farm equipment. Everything, balers, everything looked brand new. Everything got cleaned, completely cleaned when the season was over. Whenever that piece of equipment wasn't going to be used for a little while, it was cleaned and put up. So then I'm wondering what tractor is he bringing? You know, I hope he brings a big one because I mean I'm in a pretty bad spot, and just a regular old farm tractor probably gonna spin a tire. Hope it's 4-wheel drive. But I don't say nothing, and I don't argue, and I don't try to figure it out right in front of him. I just tell him thank you, I appreciate it, and I hope it don't spin. But anyways, he said, "All right, well I'll be down there in a minute." So I walk on back down to the creek, which I don't mind because I'm wet, right? So I'm trying to dry off anyways and stay warm. So I'm starting to get cold. I was shivering when I was standing there talking to him. I get on back down there. I'm waiting. It don't take him no time. He shows up, and I didn't see the guy, but apparently there's another guy in that tractor shed. There's two guys showed up, and one guy was in a truck. Old boy was in his tractor. Okay, so this tractor was a big. I don't know what it's called, John Deere. I don't know what model it is, but it was definitely 4-wheel drive. The back wheels, back tires, were easily 8, 10 foot tall. I'm, I would almost think 10 foot tall. This thing had a ladder up the side of it. You know what I mean? To get in it. The front tires was probably around 5 or 6 foot, something like that. It was huge. This thing was huge. I mean, like, I don't know how he got it down a dirt road. If somebody would have been coming, they'd had to back up. It was giant. He knew it wasn't going to spin a tire. It's funny. Just little farmers humor. He said if my tractor spins a tire, that thing could have pulled 2 houses down and not spun a tire. Okay? Like brick houses. Anyways, so he backs it up, you know, towards the trooper. I can't remember how far, but then the old boy that came in the truck, he backs up and he throws this big old freaking chain out. I mean, this thing was big and heavy. He said, "Here you go. Better go hook it up to your trooper." I was like, "Oh, dang it." so, so I grabbed the chain. I didn't think about that part. You know what I mean? So my trooper has hooks underneath. It has the skid plate and everything. It has the hooks that are bolted to the frame up under the front bumper. Just for that kind of stuff, you can put a chain in and pull it out. Well, the thing is all that was underwater. So I had to jump back down in that creek. Didn't even dry off and really warm up yet. Jump back in there, dive under, hook that chain to my trooper, and make sure it hooks so it don't come undone. So I don't want to go back down there, you know what I mean? So I make this a one-time deal. So I go down, get it hooked up, swim. Well, I don't really swim. I kind of wade around to my door, climb back in my trooper, turn my ignition on, to unlock my steering wheel, just enough to unlock my steering wheel, put everything in neutral. Four-wheel drive, transmission, everything goes into neutral. I haven't tried to start it. Now, I did have to turn it off. I couldn't just leave it running with the motor half underwater and the whole rear end and my exhaust underwater. Now, luckily, I was at this incline, so remember that. Okay, that's important. This incline, what saved the trooper. So he hooks up to it. I give him the old thumbs up out the window. Here we go. Man, he starts pulling. I mean, it's like nothing. Just, but when my front tires hit that concrete, it like popped over it like that. It didn't like climb up it and go over. It went into it and then popped over it. Man, it made a bad popping sound under my trooper. I thought something broke for sure. Which, come find out, nothing broke. I don't know what that noise was. Maybe the chain adjusted from the tension, right? Probably the only thing it could have been is that chain slipped and popped from all that tension, and then when it come over that ledge, snap. Or it could have come back and smacked something. I don't know. Didn't tear nothing up. He pulls me out. I unhook the chain, man. I go thank him, offer him some money. He won't take it. Most of them fellas won't. That's just how it is. They don't care. They just don't want you bugging them the rest of the day now. So I get, back in the trooper. I let my back doors open, try to, swoop some of the water out with my hands. And they have drain plugs in them. Anyways, I pulled the drain plug in the floorboard, let it drain as best as I could, put it back in. Boom, done with that. Get in it. I'm praying it starts because the other guy that came with the guy in the tractor, the guy in the truck who handed me the chain, he tried to put the mojo on me. He said, "Was it running when that exhaust was in the water?" I said, "Yeah, it was running." "You turned it off?" I said, "Yeah, I turned it off. Can't leave it running." "Boy, you better hope it didn't suck up water. Get water plumb up in your motor. They'd blow that motor up before you get home." I was like, "Great, seriously, you think so?" I was hoping having it at that incline like that. Okay, so now I'm nervous when I go start my trooper. So first thing I do is I pop the hood and I pull my dipstick out, see if there's any water on my dipstick. If it come in through the top, it's just sitting on top. There'd be water drops running down it. I'm like, well, that's a good sign. So I get in and I start it, and it fired right up. I mean, didn't even diesel, didn't choke out, didn't hesitate, just boom, fired right up. I was like, well, that's pretty good. That sounds good. So I let it run for about 5 minutes, warm up a little bit. Then I went ahead and shut it off, got out, popped the hood again, pulled my dipstick out, made sure there wasn't no creamy stuff in there, like maybe water got in there and I didn't see it. But now it had time to mix up. It'd be creamy and I'd see that, right? Nothing. Clean. It's like, that's pretty cool. Got lucky there, right? Knock on wood. Well, I go out to the hunting spot. By the time I get there, I'm almost dry, and now it's kind of like right at daylight, and I mean it's belly crawl to the hay bale feeder. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have time to get in by the oak tree. Now my whole thing got screwed up. There's no way I'm going to make it. So now I've got to, change my game plan a little bit, and I belly crawl back out to the hay feeder, which is about 70, maybe 75 yards from this tree. I mean, he's out of range. Maybe even 80 yards. He's out of range. I picked this spot to watch with binoculars, you got to remember. Now I've got to go back to the same spot to try to hunt this turkey or get more information, but I wanted to be closer so I could really get a good look at him, which it didn't matter. I got a good look at him. He was there, okay, and he was doing what I was suspecting he was doing. Now, I got to let you guys know that a couple weeks or so between the first time I went out there and this time, I was dreaming about this. I was having nights where I was sick to my stomach and couldn't sleep thinking about how I was going to get this bird. I mean, it was working on me. So when all this happened with the trooper and man, it just piled it up heavier, right? And I was like, man, I'm never going to get this bird and I'm going to look like a freaking moron because I was talking all that smack and now I can't back it up. Had me worried, man. So I climb in, get to this bell feeder. Sure enough, there he is. He's right under that oak tree, and I mean, he's spinning circles like a top out there. Just he's just giving her. I was like, holy moly, and he was a giant. He was big. His beard wasn't touching the ground. His beard was dragging the ground, and I mean by a lot. I thought, oh my goodness, I could see his spurs and I could tell they was at least an inch long, but they looked longer. I was like, my goodness, that is a beast. So I didn't even try to call him until he got done with his whole show. I'm just glad and feel lucky I showed up and got to see it, right? You know what I mean? Like I got there in time to see what this guy does. Here's what he did. He strutted out. He was breeding hens in between, fighting off them jakes. He had two of them with him. One of them was pretty big, almost as big as him. He had 11, maybe 12 inch, but it was every bit of 11-inch beard. It was touching the ground. And I thought, either one of them birds are going to be good. But then I also thought, man, I could bring somebody with me. We'd probably get a double. So, coming out here and getting old Boss Hog, but then getting Boss Hog Jr. at the same time, the old double whammy. Oh, I mean, you can't beat that unless you can get a triple. You know what I mean? Three people, a triple. Oh, gosh, that gave me goosebumps. I love turkey hunting. So, anyways, now I got a bigger game plan. So this guy, he heads off to the woods straight away from me. He goes that 50-yard distance to the woods, the closest spot he can get to the woods. That's the way he goes. I seen a bunch of hens go into that little patch of woods that's right by that oak tree. I thought that makes sense. They're probably nesting up in there, you know what I mean? But the younger toms and a few hens followed old boy, beelined it straight to the woods. And they hung out over there. I heard him. That's when I started calling. When he got in the woods over there, I started throwing some real slutty stuff at him, trying to tease him. I tried to make him think that there's an orphan horde that he left behind. It didn't work. He didn't come back. But what he did do was he gobbled a couple times. And then after that, the younger gobblers, they started gobbling at me, and he just kind of forgot about me. I think he might have been following them other hens. I don't know. Maybe he didn't breed them, but he was sticking with them. But them younger times they gobbled at me. But I only did that for about 10 minutes or so because I didn't really want to pressure them or have them get used to what my call sounds like. So I over turkey hunt, like I extreme turkey hunt. My brother makes fun of me about it all the time. But I have a box call, mouth calls, I have slate, glass, aluminum. I carry so many different calls that at any time I can turn into a different hen turkey with a different sound. And I have some calls that, depending on where I use my call, the slate calls, I can get different sounds on there too and be a couple different hens on one call. Your striker makes a difference. You can change your striker and get a different tone. Okay, so there's a lot going on when it comes to turkey calling and turkey hunting. But it is so fun and addictive trying to call one of them big birds in and outsmart it. Oh my gosh. So, anyways, I leave. New game plan. I'm bringing somebody with me. So then that increases my chances by deuce, right? So if I miss, there's somebody beside me definitely could get a shot. And we'll get this bird no matter what. Of course, I'm not going to miss. I just threw that in there so people feel good, like they got a chance. Yeah, I'm not going to miss, though. Anyways, the guy I pick is a buddy of mine. He's a lot younger, but I knew him since he was a teenager, a little thug, straightened him out, got him into hunting and everything. And he just got a Mossberg 500. And now that's a good shotgun, and it's probably one of the most popular home defense shotguns because it can be modified in so many different ways. It's crazy, right? It's pretty cool. Pretty cool little unit, though. Just, anyways, not the best for turkey hunting, I wouldn't think. But that's what he got. And I even tried to talk him into getting an 835. It was like $100 more or something, so he did want to do it. I was like, man, you're gonna regret that. Boy, was I right. Anyways, so I get him last weekend of turkey season. I think it was the last day. Now I had went from the first day of turkey season to the last day of turkey season. I had went and got a turkey with my brother Jason somewhere in there. We're allowed to. So I had a tag and I was keeping that tag just for this guy, and I'd made plans to go on that weekend. I went and turkey hunted a different turkey to kind of get this one off my mind and, go have fun turkey hunting. Me and my little brother, we always have a blast turkey hunting. So, anyways, I go uh, get my buddy. We head out there, no problem at the creek. We get across the creek just fine. Of course, it was down and everything was like the first time, right? So it was cool. We crossed the creek real easy, no problem. We got out there. Well, when I was out there the day that Tom was strutting, I seen with my binoculars there was this big old dead tree that was about maybe 15, 20 yards, maybe. Man, I don't think it was even 20 yards. It was really close to the edge of the woods, that little patch of woods. Like it was perfect because it was close enough to the woods. You wasn't sitting in sticker bushes, right? But it would blend you in real good, man. You just blend right in behind that big old log. And it was a big log. I did like this, but it was like big freaking old dead tree. So when we get out there, that's where I'm headed because that is on the same flat knob as the big oak tree, and that strut zone's right out in front of it. Like, I'm not kidding, guys. 25 yards was his little strut circle. The grass was this tall. All the other grass was this tall. Where he was strutting, it was like, yeah, 2, 3 inches tall. Anyways, his wing, when he was all puffed out strut, it was just mowing the yard. You understand what I'm saying? So, his feathers. So, anyways, we get set up. Well, I've been telling this guy, hey, I've been challenged on this bird. So when this guy hits 60 yards, I'm smoking him. But there's going to be one or two with them At least one. So be ready, because as soon as I shoot the one I'm shooting, I said, man, he ain't gonna flop or nothing, and that other one is gonna attack him or fly straight to us because he's already headed right at us. So he's just gonna jump and fly right over us. I said, so be ready and get him out of the air. Man, just wait, just wait, just let him get to 40 yards. We're close enough. You can let him get to 40 yards. Well, here's the setup: field, tree with the knob. Well, before you get to the knob, that field has a dip in it. This tree is marking this messed up spot in this field where all these gullies kind of come together, right? There is no 40 yards. 40 yards is down in a little dip, and I can't see 40 yards. So when it comes up out of that dip, it's going to be at 25 right in our face. And if, that's close, man. There's no room for any mistakes at 20, 25 yards. And it's going to be right in my decoys. Because this is that guy's strutting zone. So I put some hens out there with some jakes looking like they was breeding so that he would come in hard. And it worked. He did come in hard. He ran. He never even strutted his half strut all the way across that field straight at me. I only had to call one time. I called one time. I seen him fly out of the roost at the farthest end of that field, hit the ground, went into a half strut, and looked like a torpedo coming across that field. That Jake right behind him, trying to keep up. Man, he's coming, and he was gobbling and doing like a half gobble because he's running, right? And I kept telling my buddy, I'm like, you better get ready, better get ready, better get ready. I have a yardage pro. I hit 60 yards. I looked at my yardage pro and I found 60 yards and I marked it in my brain and I knew where 60 yards was exactly, right? The whole time he's saying, you better not, you better not. And the whole time I'm laughing, I'm saying, you can count on it. I'm going to. I'm not messing this up because you got the wrong shotgun. And, oh, by the way, I offered my other Mossberg 835. I offered to let him use that shotgun so he would have the ability to shoot just as far as me. Set up the same way, just no scope. No, he wanted to use and just had to use his 40-yard shotgun. That's not my fault. I told him. I ain't playing games, man. This is my deal. This ain't your deal. You got invited. I told you what you needed. You don't want to do it. It's on you, pal. You know what I mean? I ain't going to try and make you do it. It's on you, pal. So, sure enough, this turkey hits about, I don't know, 70, 65 yards. I went, give a little call, not even that much, just a little purr and a yelp and a real short one. And he stopped, man. He locked up. He throwed in the strut. He started gobbling. He started strutting. And I didn't call no more. But now he'd slowed down. He got a look at the decoys. And I can get a look at him. And now this other Tom is caught up too, right? So I put the brakes on him, made him show off a little bit, throw down a little strip dance, and then let his buddy catch up. And I'm getting everything lined out. And now I'm on him. I'm looking at that 60-yard spot that I marked before in my head, and he's right behind it, and I'm waiting for him to get into it. I got my scope on him, and I mean, I'm telling you, I was jacked up. And I'm waiting and waiting, and my buddy's over here. I'm like, better get your gun up, better get your gun up. And we're right behind this big old log tree. And so I got my shotgun just sitting right on it, man. I don't have to hold her or nothing. I'm just sitting there, just waiting, waiting, waiting. I'm locked on to him. All he's got to do is just keep coming. And he ain't slowing down. He wants to get them decoys. He's aggravated. He's mad. He's mad. So I'm telling my buddy, this is all happening in minutes. Okay, seconds, minutes. It's over. Better get ready. Better get ready. Better get ready. And I told him that turkey hit that 60-yard spot. I said, I'm fixing to shoot. I'm counting to 5 and I'm going to shoot. You better get ready. On on one, I'm shooting. I'm shooting on one. 5, 4, 3, 2. Boom! Smoked that Tom. Rolled him. He hit the ground, didn't even flop, never flinched. As far as he knew, it was frickin' night time. I mean, lights out. It was over. My buddy instantly gets mad. He's like, why'd you do that? No, I'm going to get one. I said, did you see that shot? Jacked another one in because I knew that other Tom was back there. I knew it was back there. And I knew he wasn't going to get it with that shotgun because he just threw it over the log. He literally threw that shotgun over the log. Right after I made my shot, he just threw it. Are you serious? So as soon as I seen that, I jacked another round in because I was going to shoot that other Tom and make him tag it. But I didn't. I looked over at him, he threw that shotgun, and he's like cussing. And I had already jacked another round of my gun. I said, here, shoot the other one. Shoot the other one. No, I don't want nothing to do. He starts yelling. No, I don't want nothing to do with it. I'm done. I'm done. I ain't never going turkey hunting with you again. I said, I'm never going to ask you, crybaby. I told you what to do. I told you. And while we're standing here arguing, that other Tom is first he's attacking my Tom. He attacks mine a little bit, and I'm watching, but I'm arguing with him, and I see that, and he's tearing up my turkey, and he's bad mouthing my turkey, and he don't appreciate nothing, and this guy just got top spot, but he's fixing to get taken out too, right? So finally, I looked at him, I was like, fine, I'll shoot it. And as soon as I turn my shotgun to shoot that other Tom, he jumps up. He sees us, I guess. I don't know. He realizes we're there now too. You know, it all happened fast. He jumps up and he starts flying and he flies, just like I said, man, straight towards us, right up over us. Well, that shotgun's got a scope on it, and I had it zoomed in a little bit to make sure I got a good bead at that 60-yard spot, and I hadn't zoomed it back. So, I mean, I'm sure there's some guy out there that can, you know, shoot stuff out of the sky with a scope and their shotgun. I'm not into it, okay? I don't practice that way. So, anyways, I tried though. Because I ain't no quitter. And so I pulled my shotgun up and I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, man, I just have to freehand it. I'm not going to even look through the scope. I'm going to try to pretend I'm looking right down the bead, right? So I come up and I try and boom, I miss. This thing was right over the top of us. I mean, like, I probably would have had a better chance of a slingshot. No kidding. But anyways, I miss. That turkey flies off. He becomes top dog. My buddy, he goes grabs his shotgun. Well, when I took that shot, I ended up shooting one of my decoys. I guess I was so excited I wasn't paying attention to line of sight. So I probably could have waited and let that Tom move maybe another foot or so, and I would have missed that decoy, right? But I smoked, blew the head right off, and still got that Tom. Still got that Tom. And I'm not kidding. He didn't flinch. Okay. So I take him, and this guy is huge. He had a 12.5-inch beard, and it was at an angle. So I'm guessing if he'd have had low grass the whole time, his beard would have been a little bit longer. His spurs were an inch and a half. One was an inch and 3/8, and the other one was an inch and a half. He weighed not quite 27 pounds, almost 27 pounds. Huge. And I gave it to his mom to get it mounted because she's into that. She had it taxidermied. But huge turkey. That was cool. I got the meat. She knows how to skin everything, for the taxidermist. So she got the breast meat out of it for me and then took the rest. And which I gave it to her. But yeah, that was pretty cool. That was an awesome turkey hunt. And I never did take that guy turkey hunting with me. Never did take him turkey hunting with me again. Nope. That was enough of that. But just like my buddy when he's sitting there beside me getting all bummed out mad because he knew I wasn't lying. He knew that I wasn't joking or trying to gig him. When I said I was taking that 60-yard shot, he knew I was taking that 60-yard shot, and there's nothing he could do to stop me aside from, you know, getting himself hurt. And so he got really, really aggravated, really bummed out. But don't be that guy. Don't be that guy that gets all bummed out. You know what I mean? Know what you're getting into. Listen to what you're being told. Pay attention. Because other people out here in this world, they're not going to bend over backwards just so you can have your way. Especially when you were invited. Invited, you know what I mean? But that's the end of that turkey hunting story. I'll come up with another one. I'm sure I'll think of one. My brother's probably got one. I'll try to get him on here and see if he can't do a little storytelling. He's got pretty good ones. Um, I just want everybody out there to know that somebody cares about you. Somebody loves you. I care about you. I watch other people on YouTube and they say the same thing in their videos. They care about you. Okay? If you're having a problem and you need to talk to somebody and you think you can't talk to your friends, you can't talk to your family, call 988. Talk to a stranger, total stranger. They do care. They wouldn't be working there. They wouldn't be answering that phone if they didn't care. They're there for a reason. Okay? And so are your family members. And so are your friends. Get a hold of somebody. They love you. Don't let nothing drag you down. We love you. We care about you. Squatch the little stuff. Huh? Keep on keeping on. Peace.